Welcome back, everyone. So today we're going to do an update on the James Hutchinson case. In case you are not aware, James Hutchinson is the 6-year-old little boy who was fatally run over by his mother with her Dodge Caravan, and she was trying to or attempting to abandon James along with his two siblings in a Ohio park. It's a refuge park where there's a lot of wildlife. It's in the middle of nowhere. And as she had placed all three children outside the car on this early morning hour, it was slightly just above freezing on that morning, and she for some reason changed her mind to not abandon the two, so she put them back in the car, but she left James there. James grabbed a hold of the door handle to the minivan, and as she tried to drive away, he held on for some period of time and may have become ensnagged on the car itself, but she eventually ran him over after he was no longer able to hold on to the car. That's where the case is to that point. She then returned about 30 minutes, 40 minutes later, picked up James' dead body, placed it back on the floorboard in her car, drove it home, and by her own account, put James in a second story bedroom and laid him down on the not on a bed but on the floor near a window, and left him there by throwing a blanket over him and forgetting all about him and just going back to her day-to-day life. But the following morning, her and her boyfriend, fiance, depending upon which news article you read, it doesn't matter, took James to back to a secluded area that was near Run Rush Park and threw his body in the Ohio River. And that's where we are on the case right now. But a little more of an update on the actual court proceedings since they have both been arrested. James Hamilton, the boyfriend, fiance, whatever again he is, has entered a plea of not guilty to the charges that are against him right now. He doesn't have the ability to pay the bail. His attorney is going to be seeking a lower bail, a bail reduction in this case. He believes that the bail amount right now is an excessive amount, and that he knows that his client and the court knows there's no way his client is ever going to be able to come up with a $250,000 or more security, let alone 10% of that. And they believe that this bail is an excessive amount to punish him. And yes, I know you think that might be weird, but there are constitutional laws that say, look, you cannot hold somebody in jail with an excessive amount of bail that is above and beyond their means to obtain that bail. According to WKRC, which is a local news affiliate there, an inmate made a statement who was being released from the county lockup where he was, that James Hamilton may be currently going through some type of detox right now in the actual county jail. This is not unheard of. There are, it could be anything from tobacco, alcohol, drugs that he might be detoxing from. But this inmate who was in the same housing unit as James said that James was currently in the detox program that is within there, and this very well may be a something that they go along with, especially in the first 72 to hours or so that somebody is in the actual jail. But according to WKRC, is reporting on that aspect of it. Now, I can't confirm that, but apparently they can, and that's the only reason why I'm bringing it up. The mother, Brittany Gosney. Gosney is currently in the county jail as well. She has entered a plea of not guilty. to the charges rendered against her right now, but she has filed a not guilty by reason of mental defect insanity. And according to her attorney, at this point, she is unable to effectively aid in her defense at all, and has filed the motion with the courts there to have his client evaluated for her mental health state, and that she is right now he wants her to be put on suicide watch because he is afraid that she is a harm to herself and to others within the actual jail itself. So I would, I hate to say this, but I kind of hope that she is mentally ill, because I don't, I'm trying to wrap my head around how a parent could ever do something like this to their children. How do you load three of your own biological children into your car and drive hours, according to statements, hours? She drove around. She didn't drive directly to Rush Run Park. She drove around for a while before picking Rush Run Park, a park that she had taken her children to previously to fish from the shore, and then picked Rush Run Park to abandon her three children. She must be insane, right? And I want her to get off on these charges. I want her to be insane because it makes me feel better knowing that she was insane and this is why she did this. It's just tragic that anybody would ever get to this point. There are so many different social organizations out there and community groups that would have taken all three of the children. And, we've already heard the statements from James's actual father, who said if she couldn't take James anymore and she couldn't afford to have James, it, all she had to do, or her boyfriend, the two of them had to do was take the three children to his sister's house if he was still at work, or bring the children over to his house when he wasn't at work. But she didn't do that. We all know she didn't do that. It wasn't even in her list of places to take the children and drive away from. She could have taken them to, and she had to drive past the biological father's, sister's house and other siblings and family member. She had to drive past them, their homes, to get to Rush Run Park. Drive past them all. So maybe she is insane. James's siblings, brother and sister, ages 6 and 9. According to the court records filed on Monday of this past week, they are listed as protective witnesses in the case, that they may have overheard or seen actual evidence that pertains to the death of James Hutchinson. And both of the children have been released to a paternal grandparents. It says grandparents, not grandparents. So they are not in foster care per se, and with someone that they don't know. They are with paternal grandparents. So they're at least someplace safe now. Which grandparents those are, it doesn't say, but it has them listed as protective witnesses. And reason under that, on the court document online, the PDF, it says they may have overheard or seen evidence pertaining to the mother or boyfriend in events in the death of James Hutchinson. It's going to stick with them the rest of their lives. It's tragic. I feel so sorry for them, knowing that they have to live, the rest of their lives knowing that their mother was going to just leave them in a wildlife refuge so animals would take care of them, or something else, maybe the elements would get them. She had no care for them at all. Now to relieve some confusion about the search and the media coverage of the search for James's body. In the area where they are searching for James Hutchinson's body, they originally thought that they had found a void or an area in the bottom of the river nearby where they said that they had dumped the body a quarter of a mile downriver. They believed that that void on the sonar was possibly James Hutchinson. But the news media also reported at the same time, while the boat and divers and sonar was in that area, they had seen a boat go to another area upriver to search for, and they reported that they were searching for James Hutchinson's body in that area as well. This is not so. They were looking for another child that is been abandoned, was abandoned, thrown into the river. And it's sad, but there are two children, two, and they're working two separate cases from separate areas, and they're miles apart. But the news media report that they were searching for James's body in two different areas, and it's only one area that they're searching for James's body. In the other area, they are looking for Nilo Lattimore, a 3-year-old child who was thrown into the Ohio River upstream from where James's body was disposed of. Is the void that they found at the bottom of the river James's body? They don't know. As of the 23rd of March, they do not know if that void is James. It's unsafe to send divers down that far into the water. There has been speculation in the media that they could drag a grappling hook to try to hook onto the body to bring it up if it is James, but they don't want to do that. The police don't, because it would potentially ruin any evidence that could be discovered upon James's actual body. Or if this could be, Nilo Lattimore, the same reason. They don't want to destroy any evidence that could be, discovered from the actual body itself. So right now, all we have to go on is that the statement of the mother, who is now saying that she is insane, but she said she's the one that came up with I ran him over, I came back 30 minutes later, I took him home, and then we threw him in the river. That's her statements. There's very little evidence to that. Sure, there is evidence in the parking lot that proves that something brutal and tragic happened there, but we don't have any evidence otherwise. We have no other forensics, or at least not the police are talking about, from the home itself. Several bags, brown paper bags, were seen on local news affiliates there. The WKRC showed a video of the police removing several large brown paper bags of items from the home that she shared with the children. There was a subsequent search of the area around the home and a neighboring wooded area. But, we haven't learned anything from the local authorities there and what was discovered in the home or the wooded area that was nearby the home. Nor do we know about any evidence that has come from the actual van itself, outside or inside. So there is a lot of speculation out there on this, and there always will be on cases like this, because people want to sensationalize these cases, because it draws in viewers and it makes them feel important, like they are really part of the case. And it's sad, but that's the world we live in. So that is the end of the update for today, the 23rd of March, in the James Hutchinson case. God is looking over James right now, and God is looking after his siblings. And I feel so sorry for James's family and extended family. and particularly for his father and for his siblings, because this is just starting. It's going to take a lifetime to get anywhere, from here for them all. So thank you for joining me today. You stay safe out there. Did you enjoy the content you just watched? I truly hope so. If you did, I would really appreciate if you'd give this video a thumbs up so YouTube algorithm will let other people know about this great channel and great content you just watched. If you want, you can also hit the subscribe button that is over there down below the video and subscribe to this channel so you can be notified of when the next video I upload is in the next live stream that I do on this topic. So if you would, I'd appreciate it. If not, thank you for stopping by, and you have a great day.